What if the room you checked into wasn't on the map or the system? Tonight's horror story follows a man who lives in hotels and the one room that refused to let him leave. This is Room 3313, a Nightjar Story Vault production created by Nightjar. Let's begin. Evan was a traveling contractor. He was never in one place for long, and rarely in the same hotel twice. He liked the solitude, the anonymity, no expectations, no responsibilities, just a name, a credit card, and a different pillow every night. So when he pulled into the Roseview and just after midnight, he wasn't expecting anything out of the ordinary. He checked in at the front desk, where the old man handed him a digital key card without looking up. Room 3313. The clerk mumbled. Evan's brow furrowed. The room number didn't sit right. I think you meant something else. The man finally met his eyes, then said, Room 3303, I meant. Slip of the tongue. But when Evan reached the third floor, the elevator dinged and opened onto a narrow hallway, dimly lit, faded wallpaper, an old scent of lemon cleaner and mildew. Room numbers lined the hall: 3301, 3305, 3309, but no room 3303, and no room 3313. Not until he turned the corner, and there it was. A door at the end of a dark hallway, with crooked brass numbers, 3313. His card worked, so he entered. The room looked normal. Stale air, beige wallpaper, twin lamps with one flickering bulb, a bed, a desk, a chair facing a blacked-out window that felt like something unseen pressed against it. He dropped his bag and sat on the bed. The mattress creaked like it hadn't held weight in years. He turned on the TV, just static. He flipped through every channel. Still, just static. Then suddenly, for exactly 2 seconds, the screen cleared. It showed the inside of a hotel room. This room, the same wallpaper, same twin lamps, same flickering bulb, and the same blacked-out window. But the bed was empty, and the door was open. Then, without warning, back to static. Evan stood up and opened the room door. The hallway was dark again and empty, all the lights now off, except a dim glow far at the end. When he stepped back inside, something was different. The chair had moved. It was now facing the bed. He hadn't touched it. Evan grabbed his bag and left hurriedly. Downstairs, the front desk was empty. No clerk, no light behind the counter. And when Evan rang the bell, there was no answer. So he walked outside. But something didn't feel right. The streets were silent. Cars were parked, but they were all empty. No wind, no sound, like the world was paused. He stepped back into the lobby. The door shut behind him with a final sounding click. His heart was now pounding. What should I do now, Evan thought. And when he looked at key card in his hand, it now read, Room 3313, occupant pending. He climbed back upstairs, telling himself this was only a dream. Back in the room, he found the TV was still on, still static. But he also noticed that someone had drawn a symbol in the dust on the screen. A circle, with 3 vertical lines running through it. Evan wiped it away. The glass felt warm under his touch. Then he noticed something else in the mirror. Not a reflection, but a figure, standing behind him. He spun around quickly. Nothing. So Evan left again, running down the hall, pounding on other doors. But no one answered, until one door finally creaked open. Room 3315. Inside, a woman stood in the dark, her hair long, face obscured. She whispered, "It only opens when someone deserves it." He stared at her. "What?" she repeated, softer. "Room 3313 doesn't take visitors. It takes confessions." Then she shut the door, disappearing behind it like she had never been there. Evan returned to the front desk. The clerk was back now, staring straight at him. "I want a different room," Evan said, voice shaking. "Room 3313's haunted." The clerk looked down at the logbook. "You never had 3313. You're in 3303. He said. Evan slammed the key card on the desk. "I used this to get in." The clerk didn't touch it. "You should leave. Before it decides you still have something to confess." Evan grabbed his bag and left without another word. He didn't look back, but as he drove away, something gnawed at him. Confession. It wasn't a word he'd thought about in years, but now he'd heard it twice. Once from the woman behind the door, again from the man at the desk, not directly, but close enough. He hadn't been to church since he was a kid, never believed in guilt as something you could burn away with words in a booth. So why did the word haunt him now? Why did it echo like something waiting to be said? Evan didn't sleep that night, but when he checked into a different motel the next day, the clerk handed him a room key. Room 3313. He asked for another. They insisted it was the only one left. He drove again, town after town, different hotels, different chains. Same result. Every room assigned to him was 3313. He even booked online once, picked a specific room. But when he arrived, the key still said it. Room 3313. Occupant pending. Eventually, he stopped sleeping. He set up a camera in the latest 3313 room. At 3:13 a.m., the door creaked open on its own. A figure entered. Long limbs, no face. It walked in reverse, slowly approaching the bed. Then it crouched and looked directly into the camera. Then the feed cut to static. The next morning, Evan packed up his things and drove into the mountains. No hotels, no towns, just trees and time. He pitched a tent, burned every key card he'd saved. For the first time in weeks, Evan felt calm. He told himself it was over, that maybe the room had moved on to someone else, or perhaps it had forgotten him, or simply realized he was just passing through. But deep down, he knew better. Not everything you leave behind stays gone. That night, when he returned to the tent, something was waiting. A single plastic card. It read, Room 3313. Welcome back, Evan. The confession begins at nightfall. What would you do if you couldn't escape a place that doesn't exist? Would you stay and face your confession, or walk away, hoping it never finds you? Drop your theories below. Thank you for watching. Like and turn on notifications. If this story gave you chills, subscribe for more dark tales that lurk just beneath the surface and their voices in the dark. Echoes of Fear and Suspense series steaming now on a Nightjar Story Vault. And sleep well if you can.